this is just a toy piggy. You see it, guys? See it? This is.
They love it.
And you see, actually, this side has a red eye. It's just like the piggy in the game, and it actually does this.
Whoa. They love it. They're putting in the comments that that's the greatest toy ever. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it just like goes like this. It's just like the real game.
Whoa.
Just like the game.
Whoa. All right. I got to do my intro, okay? Thank you for sharing your toy. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a homeschool prep, and I also have been getting a ton of questions from you guys about how to homeschool and what curriculum we use, how to set it all up, and just the basic homeschooling ABCs, I guess you would call it. I love sharing that kind of content with you guys, and I want to be able to answer all your questions. And because I've been getting so many homeschooling questions, I did want to answer those throughout today's video. I do need to get my home ready for the school year, which is actually starting next week. So I'm a little bit behind this week, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. The school year is about to start, and I'm going to be honest, I know that homeschooling can be one of those situations that can definitely be extremely overwhelming. So I thought I would sit down and share the curriculum that we're using this year. I have been homeschooling my daughter for, this will be the 3rd year, and then my son, he is going into kindergarten this year. I did do a lot of pre-K stuff with him last year. However, with the pre-K, I used some different videos and resources. Pre-K, I kind of mostly just focused on colors and numbers, shapes, things like that, just really simple. But this year, we are going to be using the abeka curriculum with him as well. So I wanted to jump into sharing all of that with you. And then at the very end of this video, I did want to sit down and answer some more questions that you guys may have. So I know one of the first questions you guys are going to have is, I want to kind of zoom in, but I want to show you. So these are some little, this is the kindergarten curriculum, but anyway, these are little number cards, and then they have some little alphabet cards that they're going to be learning, and then they also have the Bible memory cards, and these are just Bible verses. This curriculum is a Christian-based curriculum, so they have a Bible every day. And then they have these little books, and each book is different, but it has where they're learning their blends first when they're learning to read, and then it gets into actual words later on in the back of the, towards the back of the year and stuff. And then they have all of these little books that they read. And then, of course, they have tests that they send in. So they'll be sending those in along with samples of their work. They do social studies. And I'll kind of show you some of the activities in here. But so, they have, really cute maps, and they learn about the economy and all of that kind of stuff. So they learn about the mayor and different things. So they have their social studies they do every day. And then they also have math where they're learning to count. And so here's all their numbers that they're learning, and then they learn how to write their numbers, all that kind of stuff. And then they also learn, I believe this one is all about the world and different things like that. So they have their science and their healths and all that good stuff in this one. So they learn about the clouds and how the world works. So now that you've kind of gotten an idea of some of the different things that the kids have, there is also a great curriculum for the parents included in this as well that is really helpful, and it kind of gives you a step-by-step on how to do everything. So they have what's the teacher keys, and it basically gives you instructions on how to do every activity, and it gives you the answers so you're not struggling trying to figure out what is what. So this one is just for the math. And then they also do writing every day. So they have their handwriting book, and it also gives you instructions throughout the books on how to do it. And then they also have, this is another one that they do. But then they also do, which is my favorite part, is they have Bible activities that they do when they're doing their little Bible stories. So they get to learn about God every single day, and then they have an activity while they're learning. So they're not just sitting there. But it's really, really great because they get to learn about different things, like Jesus fills their nets with fish, like the story of the disciples out on the water, and they couldn't catch any fish, and then Jesus tells them to throw the nets, and they were able to catch fish. So they get to learn all the different activities with that. And then here is another teacher book, and this one is for like language and all of that. Letter sounds. And then they also have this book, and this one, it is writing skills, hand-eye coordination. So these are kind of like their homework pages. That's kind of what I use them for. Of course, you can use them however you want to, but it just teaches different developmental aspects as they go through. So these are like different little activities. So like the first page, they're coloring a rainbow, but it helps them learn their colors. It also helps them with hand-eye coordination because they have to learn how to stay in the lines and things like that. They have to learn how to cut, how to draw loops. So it has a ton of different coordinations and all that kind of stuff. And then it also goes into like how to do healthy stuff, like how to brush your teeth properly. So this is something that's really good for them. And then of course you've got other books too. You've got your math book, letters and sounds. And then every kit also includes this book, and this is your instruction book, and this is kind of like the overview of the whole year. So it has every single day, it breaks it down to every single day what you're learning, but it also has examples of schedules. So if you need to know how like good time frames to spend on each one, or you need to know how to grade, it breaks down how to grade every assignment, what goes in where, what day you do everything. So it's just a really easy book, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you also have videos that will walk you through this as well. There are DVDs, but I just didn't bring them in here. But you just put them in and I'll kind of show them to you. But there's also flashcards, and it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to draw every letter. So this kit is really cool. And then of course, it also has art. So they do different art activities throughout the year. Okay, so like this is day 10. So they have Bible, and it tells you what they're memorizing, what they're reviewing, and it also gives you the lesson that they're learning. And the video teacher will also go through all of this, and you can kind of follow along. And if there's anything that you don't understand, you can always pause it, rewind it, fast forward it, go back over it, and stop and help your child one-on-one. But then you've got your, like I said, I use this for homework, but you can use it however you want. You could do it in class. But you've got your skills development, which is your workbook. You got your phonics, where you're learning the letter A's, and the video, it'll tell you out beside it, it'll say play the video, and it explains all of this. But then you also have like your writing, and your social studies. And then it shows you step by step on what you're doing in math. And then you have phonics review, and all you're gonna do with that is just play the video. And then you have language enrichment. But it's also extremely easy to follow, which is great. But anyway, I know you guys have been asking a lot about my homeschool, and I know that there are a lot of parents out there or guardians that are looking for homeschool ideas. And so I think it's important that you kind of can see up close what it entails. And I'm gonna be honest, because I know a lot of you are wondering about price. The price range is different depending on what year your student or your child is in, but most of the curriculums are I want to say about $1,000 to $2,000 for the whole year. Now I will say they do have some amazing payment options where you can pay certain amounts every single month, so you don't have to come up with it all at one time. But it's a great curriculum, and in my opinion, I think it's very affordable, because really and truly most private schools, if you think about it, are $10,000 to $20,000 a year, some of them. And this is a private school curriculum, and it's also Christian based, which I think is amazing. But the other thing that I wanted to show you guys is that I also bought these portable DVD players, and I also bought some headphones. And the reason why is because I want my kids to be able to, if they're doing an activity or a lesson, I want them to be able to take it with them, and we're not stuck in one spot. But anyway, I'm gonna unbox these. I haven't unboxed them yet. I just got these in from Amazon, but I will link these down below for you guys if you are interested in them as well. So let's check them out and see what they are. I have not even seen how they look yet, but since we are setting up for the homeschool, all right, so it comes with this little case, and then let's see. All right, and I ordered a purple one for my daughter and a blue one for my son. But it seems like it's pretty durable. And then let's see. All right, so then here is the inside. And then these are really cool because they actually have double ports for the earphones, or the headphones. So if your kids want to watch a movie together, or if you want to plug in your earphones so you can work with your child and you're not having to share that whole video with everybody else in the room, that's a great option for parents as well. So that's why I really liked these. But anyway, so I know a lot of you guys ask about the curriculum along with the routine. So another question that I get quite often is not only what curriculum do we use, but also what does our routine look like from day to day. So we kind of start with our school around 9-ish in the morning, and then we will do activities with the videos, and I will kind of pop up some older footage here, but it hasn't really changed much. This is a little bit of what the pre-K kindergarten routine looks like. So it is just really hands-on.
Yeah.
Can you underline the blend for me? Good job. What does the blend say? Ta. Okay, what's the word say? Good job. High five. I also love the fact that our routine is very flexible, so we can stop what we're doing to go run an errand if we need to and come back. It also is great that I can tweak it to each of my child's needs. So if something is super easy and boring to them, I can make it a little bit more advanced for them by just tweaking it and maybe adding a little something to it. Or if it's something we need spend a little bit of extra time on, we can pause the activity and do that as well. My kids do love being able to finish quite quickly. A lot of times there are other days where we may spend a little extra time and that may not finish until 4 or something. And then there are days where they just fly through it and it's really easy and it only takes them a couple of hours. So that's the greater thing about homeschooling is you can definitely do it at your own pace, and you can take as little or as much time as you need. So our schedule for our homeschooling is a little different every single day. Usually when my daughter was in kindergarten, a lot of the activities they would give her like maybe 20 to 30 minutes to do a writing worksheet or something, and most of the time it would take her maybe 5 to 10 minutes because she caught on really quickly, so she didn't need that full 30 minutes to actually complete that activity, and so she was able to finish a lot quickly on most things. And my son is really smart as well, so his routines are very similar to that. It just depends on what he needs, so I love that as well. Okay, now that we talked about what our hours in a day look like, I also wanted to answer another question that I know a lot of parents might be a little concerned about, and one that I've gotten as well is, what if you start this school and they absolutely hate it, it just doesn't work out for you, you're not able to do it? The curriculum that we do, they offer the month-by-month basis. And so you could buy a curriculum for a certain amount of time for like a month and check it out and see how you like it. And if you absolutely feel like, you know what, this does not work great for my family and I, or my kids do better in public school, or they prefer to do public school, or whatever your reason may be, then you can definitely switch them to something else if this is something you feel like doesn't work for your child or you. That leads into another question. How do you socialize if you're doing homeschool? So there are so many homeschool groups out there that you can meet up with on Facebook and other places like that. There's tons of different homeschooling groups. There's also other ways that you can socialize your children. My kids love to do church for socialization. They also do gymnastics, swim classes, things like that. So we find many different ways to be able to socialize our kids. And my kids love homeschool because they get that one-on-one interaction from me, and I don't have to split my time with other children, so I'm able to give it just to my kids. And I know when I was personally in the classroom, that was something that was a big struggle as a teacher, is when you have 20 or 30 kids, sometimes it can be a little difficult to split your time with those children that have maybe a little bit of extra need on learning something. Maybe they're struggling a little bit, or maybe they finished and now you've got to figure out how to accommodate for that, or you have 5 kids at one time that really need your help and there's only one of you, and so that can definitely be a little bit difficult, versus when I am able to give my kids that one-on-one, they're able to learn and grow pretty quickly, and I can make sure that they master something before we move on. So they love being able to do that. So I hope that answers that question about how to make sure your kids enjoy school, or what if they don't enjoy school. So there are so many options, but just know you don't have to do abeka. This is just what we personally use, and I know there are tons of different homeschooling curriculums out there, so I would say to definitely do your research and figure out what works best for you. Okay, so a couple of other questions that I have heard in the past is, how do you juggle being a homeschooling mom with a baby or young children, and how do you make it work with homeschool? So I will be honest with you, it can definitely get very overwhelming. My son is 5 now, and my daughter will be 8 this year. And whenever I started homeschooling my daughter, my son was very young. And so what I did was I would find ways to entertain my son. So while my daughter was doing homeschool, so I would probably, for example, I might put on her video, and then my son and I, while she was watching her video and I'm in the living room with her so I could hear it, I would let it play and just kind of listen and pay attention to what she's doing. And at the same time, I would kind of multitask, and I may play cards with my son or something like that while she's watching her video. And then when it's done and she gets ready to work on her worksheet, then I might give my son something independently that he could work on. Maybe it's a coloring sheet where he's coloring along with his sister. So in the preschool curriculum, they do a lot of coloring and cutting and opportunities like that, where they would play with dolls. And as you can see in this activity right here, me before. Can you put your unicorn before Mickey Mouse and Daisy? Good job. Okay. All right, pick up your unicorn. Okay, can you show me between Mickey Mouse and Daisy? Good job. After the teddy bear?
after.
Oh,
Good job.
My kids were able to interact together, even though my son was way too small to do school technically. He was learning along with his sister, and so I was able to incorporate the learning with him as well, and so it worked out great. Another option that you can do is you can also work on the more advanced stuff that maybe you need to like be able to sit down and really focus on during your baby's nap time, or maybe I've even done it in the evening if there was something that I really felt like needed undivided attention. Then my daughter and I would sit down in the evening once her dad got home, and he could watch Ethan, and I could give her my complete undivided attention. And there was also times where her dad, whenever he got home from work, he would sit down and work with her if it was something that I felt like that he could maybe explain a little bit better. So there are ways to work around it, and I definitely feel like as a parent you can definitely make homeschooling work for you and your family. The other question that I get quite often is, do you guys take breaks during the day? And like I previously said, we do a ton of breaks, and I love that I can actually take my kids' curriculum with me. So for example, when Kendall had a dentist appointment, what we did is we took worksheets for Ethan to work on, and we kind of sat and did his curriculum while she was getting her teeth cleaned. And then whenever my son does his therapy, a lot of times my daughter and I will sit and we will read a book, maybe if she has to read, or we'll even go out into the courtyard where I could film her while she's doing a video for her school. They do ask that you turn in like videos and stuff so they can keep up with your kids' progress, which is great because they are able to give you tons of feedback and help you answer any questions. There's always numbers and stuff that you can reach out. So I think it works great for breaks and stuff like that, or if we need to step away and like go to the store, and homeschooling in the store is really not an option. We can definitely drop that for an hour or two and then come back and pick up where we left off. So it's great to be able to stop. The great thing is the curriculum is on videos, so you can always pause it. And I bought the portable DVD players like I showed you so that you could take those along with you if you wanted to, and you can have them watch their videos. Usually whenever you're driving around in town, most of the destinations are 20 to 30 minutes, and most of the videos are between 10 and 30 minutes. Now your reading and your math are going to be a little bit longer. They're usually 30 to 45 minutes. So those are a little bit more advanced, but they also do a ton of fun activities where your kids are interacting with the videos, and the teacher in the video will also say, students at home, what do you think about this? And gives them an opportunity to answer. And you can also check their understanding by listening to their answers. So that's a great way for you to be able to interact with other students in the classroom as well. So I do tons of so I have baskets for my kids' art stuff, and we use a lot of this in school, and you will like use construction paper and stuff like that. So I have that, and then we learn about money, so I have like little containers where I keep stuff for like their money, and then we use magnet letters to we learn our alphabet, so we're able to use letters. And then on this shelf, I think what I'm going to do is just put all of my daughter's homeschool books this year so that we're able to find those. With my daughters, there are tests that you will need to mail in every 6 weeks. So I usually make sure I do all the tests with her. So these are all the teacher books, tests, stuff like that. And then I have what my daughter is going to need every day, so that way I can just go ahead and pull it from here. And then I have all her extra, I put all her chapter books down here she's going to be reading, so make it all easy to find. Thing that I just bought is a desk chair for my son. Okay, so here is my son's desk. I do need to get his chair put together still, but I will tell you the most important thing, at least for the abeka curriculum in pre-K, are these pencils and these crayons. So I went ahead and stocked up on these. If you have any more questions for me today about how to homeschool your kids, how to start homeschooling as a beginner, what curriculum you use, how to organize your homeschooling stuff, or how to get ready to homeschool, I did post a video previously before this one, and I kind of showed you some DIY projects, ways that I organize my kids' homeschool supplies. And I have been using that white shelf that's in the video, but I also have been using my kids' closets and all kind of stuff. So there are so many different ways to organize and get ready for the school year. So anyway, if you guys have any questions on that, I would definitely check out that video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.